Over the years, I have become known for pivoting and being the self-proclaimed queen of the pivot. And now that I've pivoted so many times myself, I'm really, really good at sniffing out when my clients are needing to pivot, on the verge of a pivot, or there's just something going on beneath the surface that maybe they have not realized or admitted yet that needs to change in their business. And I think that this comes from a really deep personal understanding of what it means to pivot, and being able to have had lived that experience allows me to point it out and help people through it a lot faster than if you were to try and figure it out on your own. Because when you're working through it on your own, sometimes you're too close to see what needs to change. You're too hesitant, you're too scared, and you need an external force to validate this is the right choice and the power of the pivot. And the reason pivots are so powerful is because it allows you to bring renewed excitement and energy into your business. When you are forcing something in your business, it is really, really hard to scale. It is really, really hard to fill your offers. It is really hard to hit those revenue goals because everyone can sense that hesitation. You yourself are hesitating in how you are showing up. You yourself are holding back, and that is really prevalent, and you're going to see direct ramifications from that. So pivots don't have to be this huge, scary, friends, level couch in the hallway, raw screaming pivot in your business. You can have quiet pivots, and you can also have those big, huge pivots. So when we're thinking about concrete examples, Charlie, who's one of my clients, had a big pivot. She was a home daycare provider. We maxed out her revenue there. And then I asked her a question: do you want to be a home daycare provider, or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Where does your heart really lie? And the truth of the matter was, she just loved the entrepreneurship side of what she was doing. And her pivot was huge. It meant closing down her original business, her home daycare, and pivoting into project management, which is something she had from corporate experience before starting the daycare, and moving into the business support side of setting up systems, setting up the back end, making sure everything really makes a lot of sense in people's businesses. So that is a huge pivot. In terms of my own business, I went through a couple different big pivots. My career as a teacher, pivoting into a full-time business owner, creating resources for teachers, and then yet another pivot into business coaching. So these are what we would consider big pivots. And this is something that you really want to plan for. You want to make sure that you have set the scene for a successful pivot, that it's not going to cause a lot of external stress. If you have an established business, completely shutting that down and having all of a sudden zero revenue and then pivoting into a new thing is going to bring a lot of pressure and stress into your life. So slowly laying a foundation for your new pivot, and then once that is really secure, making the full switch is going to be much better for your life, for your boundaries, for all of that, without bringing on so much stress, but knowing you're still working ultimately toward your goals. So if you are feeling really, really unfulfilled in your business, it might be time for that big pivot. Now, there's also quieter pivots that can happen in your business. And this is where you don't need to burn the whole thing to the ground, shut it down, and move into something else. This would be when maybe there's an offer that's not sitting right, or a messaging issue, or the type of customer that you're serving. It could even be the way that you are presenting information. So for example, I work with Alana, who's a photographer, and she pivoted away from serving families. She was originally a family photographer. She really wanted to go into branding. Most of her branding, messaging, website offers, all of that was still in the same realm, still in the same thing, but she pivoted into serving business owners, and now she doesn't really do family photography anymore, and that's definitely not the front face of her business. So that's a smaller level pivot. Another example would be, I have gone through a bunch of different variations of giving my knowledge in a concrete way through video and through written modules. So I originally tried it as an accelerator program where it was divided into 8-week chunks, but I was finding that wasn't necessarily the best way to deliver the material. So then I switched it into a self-directed course where people are able to just pick and choose what content they need and go through it on their own pace, less structured, more open, and it has everything in there. The content is the same, the delivery is different. So that would be a smaller pivot. I pivoted in the messaging, I pivoted in the delivery of the material, I pivoted in the offer, retired the old one, went into the new one, but the core of the offer is the same. So when you're deciding how to align your business to your life, how to align your goals through your business with those little tweaks or big tweaks, there's going to be really 3 common signs that you can self-identify, or we can talk through to see if this is happening for you. These 3 signs are the most consistent things that I see across the board, not only in myself, but in all my clients, that really indicate that it is time for a pivot. And it's maybe not super apparent to you, but the longer that these 3 things are persistent, the more you're going to realize, okay, yeah, it's true. So the first one is that you are dragging your feet. You are moving so slowly at the things that you know need to get done and are going to have an impact in your business. So whether this is really taking forever to make your freebie, or you're procrastinating signing up for your email marketing, or you don't want to go ahead and actually start selling the spots of your newest offer. The more that you are delaying the process and working through it so slowly, it means you're not that excited and you're not that aligned to it. It means that there is something going on that is holding you back from just going for it. And you know in your mind that getting something out there is better, that done is better than drafted. But for one reason or another, the motivation to actually get it out there is not there. So that's going to be sign number 1. Number 2 is similar, but it's that you're finding excuses and reasons to not do everything. So rather than just feeling like, oh my gosh, making this freebie is taking me forever, you are telling yourself things like, well, I'm not ready to do this because why? Or my niche is oversaturated, or I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the budget to do this. I don't have the right setup to do this. I don't have the right audience size to do that. I can't, I won't, I blah. It's you making up all of these reasons that maybe there's like a little bit of truth to them, but if you really wanted something to happen, you would find a way around it and you would make it happen. So when we're constantly layering in these mistakes, when we're constantly bringing in these excuses, subconscious or consciously, it's usually a sign on a deeper level that you just genuinely don't want to do something. And so instead of admitting that, it's easier to blame external factors and to bring in excuses of, well, I just can't do it because of X, Y, and Z. And the third really clear reason that you are not aligned to your business and that you need to pivot is that you are struggling to show up. It is hard for you to pop on your stories or to make reels or to create content or to post on threads, to email your email list. It is really, really hard for you to do that. You have to convince yourself, you have to psych yourself up. It takes forever. It is just really, really hard for you to put that energy behind your business. And that's because the less excited you are, the less aligned you are, the more you have to like dig deep and find something to say. The more you have to discover and pull out and repurpose and ChatGPT or whatever it is to try and find the words to say. When you are super excited about your business and what you're offering and who you're serving, the words just flow, the content flows. You're going to have an endless stream of things to be talking about and an endless level of excitement. At the end of the day, your business needs to energize you. If your business is draining you, if your business is something that brings you stress, anxiety, you feel like you're working all day long and nothing is happening and you're super unfulfilled and you just almost feel like this cap of like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not excited for the future of this business. I can't see myself in the life that I want in the way that it's running right now or the way this trajectory I'm on. You want your business to feel easy. Not easy in the sense that you're not working hard, easy in the sense that the hard work is worth it. The hard work is fulfilling to you. The hard work, the educating yourself, the late nights, early mornings, whatever it is, it's not something that you are resentful for or that you're dreading. The ease comes from the fact that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing in the way that makes sense for you and your life. At the end of the day, you became a business owner not so that you would continue to work in an environment that doesn't serve you and work these hours that don't serve you and have that disconnect from your personal and your professional life. You became a small business owner because you love entrepreneurship. You want to be home. You want to set your own work conditions, work rules, work environment, work hours. And if you're losing that spark, it's really, really hard to convince yourself to deal with all of the issues and all of the roadblocks that just inevitably come up in entrepreneurship. It's never going to be easy. Even when you are super aligned to your business and you love what you're doing and you are excited about it and you wake up every day so grateful that you're a small business owner, it's still going to be hard. It's still going to have those roadblocks. You're still going to have those days where imposter syndrome is screaming at you. But the majority of the time, you should feel good about what you're doing and you should feel good about what is to come. And if you're not feeling that, then it is time to consider what's going to happen next and time to consider whether you need one of those small pivots that we talked about or whether we need one of those larger pivots. And the only person who can decide whether or not you can stay the course, whether or not you need a small pivot or whether or not you need a big pivot is you. You are the only one who deeply knows your capability, your capacity, and the potential of your business. You can talk it out with someone, we can talk it out together, and we can come up with 100 different ideas on how you can grow and expand and pivot your business. At the end of the day, you are the only one who is going to know if it is worth pivoting within the current direction that you are, or if it is worth setting up a new future for yourself. I would never encourage you to scale a business that you weren't 100% committed to. I would never encourage you to continue growing and to invest so much time and energy into something that's not endgame for you. We want you to feel 100% excited and 100% aligned to whatever it is that you're doing. And it can take you some time to get there. It's not like listening to this one, pep talk is going to be the thing that is going to light up all these light bulbs, but this is a permission slip to you to know that it's okay to pivot. You will be okay if you pivot, and you will be better off if you do, if that is what your business needs. Deciding whether or not what you're feeling is regular, normal entrepreneurship, fear, and growth versus unalignment is something that only you can decide.